Good morning, everyone. I sound like a teacher. Can you hear me? I'm very nervous because this is my first stream, so be gentle with me. I have been muted. Oh, you can hear me. Yay. Hi, everyone. I recognise some people already in the chat, but if I don't know you from your name because you've got a different name here on like Instagram or anything, then I apologise. And also, can you hear the rain? It's raining here and my office is so loud, so I'm really hoping that you can't hear the rain. But welcome to my first stream. We'll see how many technical difficulties we get into. I thought Maya would be the one misbehaving, but it's already, my headphones won't even work, so we'll see how we go. I'm gonna start a new project, so we're gonna just start with a completely blank Maya screen and do a bit of block out to start with and see where we go with this little concept art up here that I found from Dexter's laboratory. I don't know if it's just like an early piece of concept art or if it's, I don't think it's the final thing from the show, but I just really liked the concept. So we're just going to ease into it, cozy streaming, not anything too difficult. Set up some block out and the camera to start with. There's quite a lot of different like things in the depth here, so we can like I can just envision the final render is going to have some like depth of field, and yeah, see how we go. So feel free as I'm working to ask any questions in the chat, and yeah, I'm happy to answer any Maya questions or anything about how I am going to work. And I think I'm going to set up the camera pretty quickly today. The rain is getting worse. Nothing difficult, does it mean students can follow along? I mean, yeah, you can try and follow along. I mean, I don't know if I won't be stopping, like, if you haven't caught up, but if you want to try, you can. I mean, we're just going to break it down into simple shapes, and that's kind of how I work, especially personal projects. I don't have a lot of time for personal projects, so when I do a personal project, it's like, yeah, just what can I get done that I'm going to enjoy doing without stressing myself out too much is pretty much how I approach personal projects. And it's quite a wide desk, I think, and we're gonna just, didn't mean to do, get my camera, there we go. I've got to learn to like look at the chat because the notification thing's not working on ABS, I believe. So whenever, I think as well, this is a very wide aspect, and I just did a really wide aspect project, and posting it on social media in vertical format just does not work. So I think I'm going to extend the concept up and down and just see if it works so that it's a bit easier to post. So what we're going to do, we'll just do like, we'll just start square for now and see how that goes. I'm working on a little screen. Don't need render settings open at the minute, do I? There we go. So we need to go change our focal length. How is everyone doing this morning? What are you working on? In fact, we're going to, I don't know why I've got a rotate on that. There we go. You can see how like I'm not even really thinking properly because I'm too busy thinking about the stream and not for my work. We will get a little averaged height person in here, and then we will work on the desk being an actual proper height for them. Here we go. And that means our camera is far too high. I know Dexter was really short, so this is not. There we go. This is a giant desk, so just get, I think that's about right. And then we're just going to readjust the camera now to try and match. I've moved the concept art. I need to find somewhere for it to go. Here. Coffee and working and watching. Cool. And a large mug of tea. Definitely needed. It's gone cold again. We had like, I think we might have had summer already. And what are you printing, Pat? That sounds exciting. Okay, let's see where we go from here. And I hope that you can't hear the rain. I think Heather couldn't stream the other day because she had a storm, and I genuinely think that we're in the midst of a storm as well. Try and get that in. Just an idea of it. Printing some supports for the office divider. Oh, okay. That's practical though. I thought you were going to be printing like one of your characters or something. Oh my goodness, the rain is so loud. I feel like I am going to have to go wider with the framing. Nessie model is next on the list. Oh, that's cool. Did you print the hippo? Because that was my favourite one you've done so far. And I think you should print the hippo. Hello, Axios Art. How are you doing today? I really need to get some background music, but I haven't managed to figure that out yet, so you bear with me on that for next week. Okay, we're gonna start with having the right orientation, and then we'll figure out extending it afterwards, because it's throwing me off a little bit at the beginning. that's like a circular type of furnace thing. So we'll just see how blocking part of that out here behind what I think is a fish tank. Did that work? Yeah. I feel like maybe I should just bring in the concept art into the image plane, but I don't know if I might just eyeball it today. I've got like another thing at the back there. I was also thinking that because of the like depth that's going to be in it, you could do, I can't remember what they call it, that effect at the beginning of Severance, not in the beginning of Severance, in Severance, where he gets in the lift and it's the distortion. I know how to do it, I just can't remember what it's called. The dolly zoom. That could be kind of cool to do with this for like a little animation. You've never seen Severance? It's really good. I think so, yeah. I think there must be a new series coming out soon. I feel like we are due a series. I feel like it's, yeah. If you like kind of mystery, it's not necessarily a horror, it's more like a thriller, I think. But yeah, it's really good. How's that looking? This is my little person that can go away now. I don't know how much we'll get done today. This is like the main thing in the middle. And that's obviously fatter than that. This is not me modelling it, I'm just blocking out. At the minute, everything will get switched out at some point. This one's a bit more about, oh god. I think that's looking okay. Oh, we've just hit 1,000. I didn't get a notification, I don't think. But thank you for the follow. I missed the name because I just saw it. And I think we just got 1,000 on YouTube. Which is amazing. Hello, relaxing music videos. I am making this concept art up here, which is from Dexter's Laboratory, if you were aware of that TV show from, oh, the names show up on the chat. Oh yeah, I see now. This is my first stream, by the way, for anyone who's just joined, so bear with me. This is my first time streaming with Firestorm. I'm very excited to be a part of the team, and I'm just getting to grips with like how the OBS and everything is set up in the back, because it's super complicated compared to how I used to stream, and I haven't streamed for about I want to say 3 years. So good afternoon, everyone. Hi. Yeah, so this is my first stream. So thank you to Heather for letting me join the team, and Pat for kind of helping with that, and Patricia in the chat who's helping me as well. Yeah, so this is just, my stream is just me using Maya, which is my main piece of software, and today, because it's the first stream, we're just starting with blocking out this concept art and seeing how far we get, and then once I've done a bit more of a block out, we'll start actually modeling some of the objects and see how we go. I tried to pick something that wasn't too difficult so that I can like concentrate on the chat and modeling and get something done. And then also it won't take too many streams to finish it, because I would get bored if I was streaming it for like 10 weeks or something. So is the first step you're gonna do only blocking? Yeah, I'm gonna spend a little bit more time blocking. I'm gonna get the objects on the desk just sort of into position, and then the objects and the wires, maybe we can do them. They'll kind of get blocked out, but also won't need to do much modelling to them once they're blocked out. So yeah, we'll do some blocking and then we'll start modelling. I mean, I have no idea how long. We're 20 past 10, so the stream's till 12, so we'll definitely get into some modelling today, and just kind of work out how to translate it as well. So like this back panel here, you know, I think I will probably model those in as like little panels rather than using texture to do it, just for a bit more interest. So yeah, we're just gonna see how we get on today, but thank you everyone for joining, and make sure that you subscribe, or whatever it's called on Twitch, follow, and you'll get notified of everyone's streams. So there's so many talented artists working on Firestorm streams and doing ZBrush and Houdini and just concept art as well. So I think it's definitely worth checking out the schedule. And we're on Instagram, and I think Instagram's the main one. So yeah, check it out on Instagram as well. That's not in the right place. Running out of space, but I think, yeah, that needs to be smaller but bigger at the same time, according to the concept art. So that's going to be a fun one. I've got like a rack of things there. Behind that. I definitely need to get some background music so I don't just feel like I have to ramble. Do I have a favourite style I prefer to work in? Yeah, so my background's in visual effects, so a lot of my projects are personal commercial projects of you know, trying to make something look as lifelike as possible, and I kind of, for my personal projects, tried to stay away from that. I like doing more stylized stuff, taking a 2D concept and just seeing how I would translate that into 3D. And also find that more fun at the moment. I think I moved into, like, I studied on a course that kind of did a bit of both animation and visual effects, and then went into visual effects, and I think a lot of it at the time was confidence, because I don't know, I felt like, oh well, I can copy something and make it look real easier than I can like take some artistic license with a piece of concept art. And I didn't have a lot of confidence when I was studying, so I was like, yeah, we'll just do VFX, we'll just copy things. Not that it's easy to copy things, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, so I think now I'm like, okay, I actually prefer doing the stylized stuff. And so that's mainly what I'm doing now for personal projects, and hoping that I can kind of transition into animation for commercial projects as well, at some point soon. I just finished quite a long contract, but it was doing like product stuff, so it wasn't really what I wanted to do, but that's just coming to an end, so I need to look for the next thing now. And it's the wrong time of year to find anything in teaching as well, which is what I've done prior as well, done some teaching. Yeah, I think like none of 3D is easy. If you do 3D, you've picked a really hard path to go on. But yeah, sometimes, yeah, I do think when you're learning, I don't know, it's difficult. Hi, Emily. I'm assuming that's my Emily that I taught, who is now working as a 3D artist, doing awesome work. And we're going to work together one day. Yeah, I think I actually enjoy that challenge now, with every style having its own thing, because before I didn't enjoy that challenge, and it was like, no, I just want to make what I can see. But now I'm like, no, actually I want to do the challenge of turning something in. Like, I just did a Bluey project where I took the Bluey concept art, because my kids were like, Mummy, do a Bluey thing, and turned it into 3D. And I genuinely didn't realise that the new movie coming out for Bluey is going to be 3D. I read the movie was coming out, and I was like, oh, surely it's just going to stay 2D, and it's just going to be a feature-length 2D version of Bluey, right? And it's not, it's 3D. So I've been posting, like, imagining if Bluey was 3D, and posting my work, and it's like, no, there's actually a studio already doing that, Holly, so you don't need to imagine it, because we're going to see it next year. So that was quite funny when I found that out yesterday. Go up. So you can go there. Don't really need that open. There we go. I think I'll have to tweak the camera again, but for now I think everything's kind of getting into position. I've got some depth in there. That one back a bit. also, I probably won't be doing the look dev on the stream because I don't like doing look dev. I definitely don't like people watching me doing look dev. So, but I do intend to do the look dev on it at some point. Get a bit of curve in there. So I am definitely going higher than the concept art, so we might put them Y's in a minute just to see how that looks. That's not right anymore, is it? Now we've put a few more things in. What I'll do as well, when I streamed an old project, I did like a screen grab after the end of every, like a little clay render at the end of every stream, and then like did a little process video once we finished. So I'll do that as well. Am I from a cinematic or games background? I've never worked in games. So yeah, no, not games, from cinematic. So I started out as a runner. Bye, have a good day. I started out as a runner, and then through that got a job as a junior, not at the same company that I was running at, but through like networking. And then I was at a tiny little boutique studio working as a junior, and it was literally me and the head of 3D, and we would work on kind of indie films mainly. And then go back to my camera. Oh, I've done this the wrong way, haven't I? Hold on. Oh, what happened there? Okay, let's go camera, tear off copy, there we go. So yeah, I worked in film, and then we also, can you dock please? Maya. Oh my goodness, come on. Okay, don't, I'll just put that over there for a minute. I was trying to get it so I could see that, but it's not playing nicely today. Yeah, and then I worked on kind of music videos, ads, after I went freelance, some TV projects, and then I went into teaching for a few years. So when I had my first child, I kind of needed more stability than the industry can always offer. So I went into teaching and did that for a bit, and then I left teaching. I did some projects whilst I was teaching, and then more recently I've just been working as like a 3D artist, but for like more product stuff, and that's just finishing now. So I am looking for the next opportunity. And when Pat asked me if I wanted to do some streaming, I was like, oh, I definitely haven't got time for that. And then I was like, the same day, I found out that my contract was ending. So I was like, oh, okay, I can probably, I've definitely got time now. So, hi. Well, I'm not working on the Bluey film. Sorry if that came across incorrect. I have done a personal project of Bluey, which you can see if you go on my Instagram. I found out that it's actually going to be a 3D movie when the movie comes out. So, I mean, I think they should just maybe hire me, but welcome to anyone who has joined. This is my first stream. I'm going to keep saying that every like 10 minutes. Like, be kind to me. I don't know what I'm doing. Why is that like lost its? Oh, it must just be the thing. So, can I just say that if you don't use the sweep mesh tool, then you should be, because I remember the old school way of having to extrude along a curve, and it was very painful. So be grateful. Like, everyone's like, oh, Maya never adds anything. Well, they added that. Maybe they should have added it earlier than they did, but at least it's there now. Right, let's duplicate that curve. And Pat remembers the pain. And there was like a weird bug as well where it wouldn't actually let you extrude faces unless you selected the faces in a very specific way. It was not good. Just gonna, and I don't know as well if you know this, but on the, it's just going off the screen a little bit, but if you're like making the same thing over and over with the sweep mesh, you can save a preset. So you can see I've got some here. So obviously, like in my Bluey one, I was making some string apparently, and I would make a preset of it. So this will be like Dexter Lab wires, and it will just save the same settings. So then I can click on this, create my sweep mesh, and then go to presets and go onto that and hit replace, and then it just saves me trying to remember what I've put in and redo it. So that's kind of a good little tip I would throw in there while I'm using the sweep curved tool, because yeah. And I'm not gonna, I could duplicate obviously the mesh, but I like to just duplicate the curves and apply sweep mesh to each of them, because then you've got control if you ever want to come back later and redo it. Hi Rashab, you see, how was it going from working to teaching? Yeah, it was fine. Like, it was a different challenge, definitely. Like, I like to say that teaching made me a much better technical artist, because I've got to get students from like a blank project all the way. I used to help a lot with the third years who are doing their like final projects. They all want to do something different. They all have different abilities, and at crunch time when everything goes wrong, I'm the person that they're looking at to fix it. So I got really, really good at troubleshooting. I got really, really good at like finding solutions to obscure Maya issues, because students can break Maya in ways I never thought could be broken, and they can't tell you what they did. And that's fair enough, because they're learning. So it was a challenge, a great challenge to work like that, to be like, hey, this is broken, you need to fix it, because it's just fully broken. So another great Maya tip, whilst we're on the subject of that, is make sure you use, and this is reminding me that I need to save as well, and I haven't set my project, which use project files, and let me just find where this one is, and always save as .ma files, not MB, so MA dot not .mb, because .ma, oh, that was me trying to save, because if something crashes, like I had a crash the other day where I can't remember exactly what it was. Something was stopping my file from opening. And so because I had a .ma file, I could go in and find the bit of code that was stopping the file from opening, delete that out or turn it to off. I think it was a setting. And then I saved my file. And so like that's, yeah. And with my students, it would be like, right, well, if we can't fix it in Maya, we're going to dive into the .ma file. And we're going to look through the code, like we're going to like try and figure out in the code what's going on. So yeah, I would say that I am definitely more of a technical artist now from teaching, and also hope that I've given, you know, students that ability as well, because everyone says that Maya is horrible to work with, and obviously, yeah, it is to a point, but I think if you can, like master, like learn how to like troubleshoot and what's going to break your scene, then it shouldn't crash that much. I love Maya, and it's only recently that I'm like, oh right, okay, so what do you mean I actually have to go and learn another bit of software? Like, I have to go and actually learn Houdini now. Like, that's my big thing at the minute, is procedural modeling in Houdini, which Carmen streams. So I'm gonna like go and watch all her back streams that I've not managed to catch, because I think she streams quite early in the morning. But yeah, it was fun teaching, and I think I would do it again, although I did it like as what do they call it? Not a guest lecturer. You're like a freelance lecturer, and I would do that. I wouldn't go full time again. I did go full time for a bit, but then I just found that it was less about the teaching then. And so I ended up having a lot of other stuff to do in the background. So it meant that like maybe lesson plans struggled and stuff like that. But I would do it like freelance again. I always have a problem with Maya. Every time I first open the software, it crashes. Yes, that is a known thing. That was I think I saw a thing the other day said that's the Substance plugin causing that. And also it crashes for USD. Oh, it could be USD. Could be USD and the Substance plugin. I was working with USD on my project and last role, and it was, yeah, not that fun. Feel like there was this like, I mean, I think it might have changed slightly. Like when I was working with it a couple of years ago, there was this thing where a USD is meant to be cross-compatible, but a USD from Houdini saved something completely different to a USD in Maya, which meant you couldn't actually cross them over. So, but now I think they have at least fixed that. And I think it was a Maya thing. I think it was how the Maya team was handling them. And it was actually fine going from like Houdini to other software. It was just Houdini to Maya. It was like, no, absolutely not. But yeah, and when I was doing teaching, I would use the issues that my students came up with to help me figure out what tutorials to make for my YouTube channel. So obviously I'm streaming for Firestorm, but I have my own YouTube channel called Holly's Maya Tutorials, very descriptive, and I post a lot of just random tutorials on there, because if I'm working on a project and then I come across an issue, it's like, well, other people are going to come across that issue, so I am going to turn it into a little tutorial. Like, I got a weird one the other day about it wouldn't let me apply a shader, and it was a super easy fix in the end. It was just deleting the shading group and then applying the shader, but it, like, there wasn't had to like scroll through a whole like forum of something to find the answer. So I was like, oh, I'll just make it into a 60-second tutorial for whoever may need that after me. I'm going to push all this back stuff backwards, I think. Go back. What time are we on? 44. We'll probably just start modelling something in a minute, shall we? We've done enough blocking out. You can't see the floor in the concept, but you can see the floor in my things. I'm either going to switch the camera up, or we'll just model some floor in at some point. This needs to be bigger. One thing with me is I don't know when to stop. So I will never see a project as finished. I have to give myself a hard deadline and be like, that's it, you've spent enough time on this now. You need to do something else. That's why I like working, where someone's going to say to me, okay, that's fine. I don't need to be the judge for myself, because I'll just keep going and going. I think we've got the majority of that in, so we can start just modelling now, I think. Still don't leave that open. Might end up moving everything back, actually. It's gonna change. Like my Dalmatian project that I did, where I live streamed it, it was when I did the final like thing, it was like crazy how much I just kept tweaking things. It was like, that way, no that way, no that way. When I did a little breakdown of the streams. Okay. I think that is like used from the desk, so that needs to be closer to the desk. I also like to find like a lot of background about what I'm working on, and I didn't with this. I've just got a single picture, and I haven't watched Dexter's Laboratory for many years, so I don't actually know if this is in the show or not, but we like a concept art, so that's what we're going off. I need like someone to make me a coffee and bring me a coffee, but no one's here, so Right, what we're going to do, we're going to save. And we're just going to have a little tidy up in the outliner. What is that? That's my... Is that just a random cube, or is that a person proxy? I know it's not got to be super accurate, so let's just grab everything. Show none, show... I should remember the thing for that, so let's just grab everything and group it and just call it Proxy Duo. That's now an empty group. I can delete that. I'm making it look like I'm always this organised in the outliner. And now I call this render cam 01 because it probably won't be the final one. And I've moved the camera. I don't even know when I did that, but I have a trick for that. There we go. When did I move? I must have moved it ages ago. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. Always lock your camera. And I did have a trick for it, but for some reason it didn't work then, so that wasn't good. If you use the square bracket keys, you can cycle back through the camera. And I don't know why I didn't work then, but it normally does. Have I actually got the camera set as... No, it even changed the focal length. That was weird. I thought it had. And something like that. And then just 0 off. And then I'm going to lock the camera this time. And it definitely won't be the final camera now, because that doesn't look right now. There we go. It will be fine. It will be fine. Okay, there we go. Right. So, obviously, I'm not going to approach it like where I'm going to model everything outside of this scene and then reference it in and then swap it out for the layout, because I'm just doing it for a personal project. So, I'm just going to model it kind of in the scene and then just move into position and go from there with it. And yeah, might even take some of the bits of proxy geo, and if it's like a cube, instead of making a new one, because I don't think there's any point in doing anything different. So let's make this a bit of a nicer shape. And I want to duplicate it and move it up. I'm just going to keep this separate piece of geometry because it's going to have a different shader on it. So just making the lid and then move it into position and make sure I'm using object. Bring it down. Assuming it's got a hole in the top actually because it's a fish tank. Oh no, would it have a hole in the top? No, because then it would jump out. Actually, it's not a fish tank, is it? It would help if my reference was bigger. Could I make it bigger? I think it's like a hamster cage. Does anyone remember from watching Dexter's Laboratory what it was he had? Do you have a pet hamster? I think that's like a hamster ball in it, so it would have a lid. I don't need it that big now. Go away. Can't see what I'm doing in Maya. Okay. We'll go for that for now. Nope. Can you just unselect that, please? There we go. Okay. Grab all of the edges and bevel them. Love a good bevel edge. And just add a few more to even out the topology, even though we don't really need it. There we go, and we are gonna, I think the bottom is just a square, so we don't really need to do much with that. Now I can take this and this and call it group tank. So I'm not doing anything crazy with the modeling. It's just simple shapes. What? There we go. You were 8 years old when you last saw the show. I can't remember how old I was, but it was a while ago. Definitely was a while ago. I also contemplated doing a Powerpuff Girls concept art, but then I found this one that I liked better, so. Right, what are we going to do next? I was trying to think as well what relevant, like recent kids shows, not relevant, recent kids shows I could do, but all my kids watch is Bluey, so I was like, I'm gonna have to go old school and do something from my childhood. And I think, can you still watch all these kind of shows? And if so, where? Because my kids would love Powerpuff Girls, I think. Sometimes a bevel, sometimes a fence. It just depends what I decide I want to do on each object. And one more. Forget the measure. I'm missing one here. Oh, that's why I've got the edge flow on. Don't want that. Didn't notice when I was in smooth mesh preview mode. Right. I know, Cartoon Network was amazing. I feel like they might, because they're doing like a Wile E. Coyote film, aren't they? I feel like they might like do some Cartoon Network series into, like, just go straight into movies now. And just hope they don't use AI to do it. So this looks like it goes ridiculously high, like up past the thing, but I think I just need to move it forwards. What would this be? Test tube stand. I think as well, one thing that I realised when I was teaching was that it's actually quite hard when you first start modelling, because you don't, it's like the approach to it. So I used to like have this example that I would do with my students where I would get them, I would model 2 tables, like a really simple table, and one I'd model it all out of one piece of geometry. So I'd start with like the tabletop, and then I'd like extrude the legs out of it, extrude the supports out of it, and then I'd do another one where I model the top separate, the legs separate, and the support separate, and then I'd get them to like spot the difference between the two. And it would be like, when they first start, they'd just be like, I don't know. And I'd also get them to vote on which one they think was modelled in, I say, the correct way. You can kind of model, you know, different ways, but be like, which is like modelled in the correct way. And they always, majority of them would say when they first started, the one that was modelled out of one piece of geometry. And I'd be like, well, that's actually just made your life harder, because you've got to have more geometry. You're not going to be able to UV it as easily. And it'd be about like just being like, you're allowed to break down the shapes and make it simpler for yourself to model. Like, obviously within reason, like if it's something that's going to be rigged and it needs to be attached and things like that. But their initial thought was always, oh yeah, I'm gonna just make it all out of one single piece. But like, you don't have to do that, especially not for personal projects as well. Like, just make your life a little bit easier. And so that's how I'm like, I could have extruded that out of the stand, but in my head, in the real world, that stand would screw into the base. So I'm going to model it separately, and then it will be easier to UV. It would be easier if I want to apply separate shaders. Had someone ask on YouTube the other day how I'd modelled one of my projects, which was like a house with loads of windows, and they assumed that I had to extrude like all the window frames out of the house. And I think that's things that don't necessarily always get taught. Yeah, exactly, Rishab. That's what I do. Like, how's it made in real life? And that's also fascinating, because then you can go on a deep dive and be like, oh, I've got a model, whatever it is, and go and have a look how it's made in real life. And yeah, that's why I love 3D. I love making something from nothing. What are we on? 11 o'clock already. we've not done a lot. I feel like we've not done a lot. Right, what are we doing next? A test tube. That's cute. I'm going to model, this is one, I've got two of them, so I'm going to model it at the centre. I've got a random cube. And create a sphere, drop that down to 8. There we go. I need my windows, where have they gone? There they are. Oh, I've lost my test tube now. There we go. And then they kind of go, do they go out? They go up, they're a bit wonky. I don't think they normally go out at the top, but they do it in the concept. I'm just going to model it straight for now. And then it's so tricky working on this tiny little Maya screen. I've got a ridiculously large monitor, and this is challenging to have it like I normally spread out across my huge monitor. Okay, right, let's 3 that and go in. You'll find that I rarely use the, is it multi-cut tool? I'm asking because I don't use it, because I'm old school and I just think the insert edge loop tool works best. I feel like it's less buttons than the multi-cut tool. Could be right, it could just be because I've never used it. Okay, we've got a little test tube going on there, and we will give it some thickness. Oh, not that much. I think we're going inward, and then I'll just, yeah, I'll reverse the normal. There we go. And let's just bring this up a bit more, I think. Just more exaggerate it. More exaggerate this. And then let's flare. And nope, wrong, we want the end. Does that look like we want it to do? It's not really working. If we go more, what happens? We can add a little bit of curve, I think. that'll do. And then I'm just going to duplicate it, and I'm going to save before I do something silly, and I'm going to bring it into position, and then I will add any wonkiness that I want to. And scale it, because it's not going to be the right scale. Giant test tube. And it kind of meets that, and then is that an angle, and what across for that. That's about right. And then I'm gonna grab this, make sure I'm in object, just give it some wonkiness. I did a 101 Dalmatian project, and the concept art is obviously just insane and amazing, and it was so wonky, and it was so much fun to model something that wonky. And then I did another project and it wasn't wonky, and it wasn't as exciting. I like wonky things for some reason. Okay, feels a little big now. Let's just down a tad, and then bring this one over and position it how we want to. And then I also think, like, looking at the concept, you are maybe forward of the stand, and you can go a bit round the back. And bring it out a bit, and you are too wonky in the wrong direction now. Which means now that that is not in the right place. So, working out what we're going to do. Right, we're test tube stands, so let's put those in there, and then let's just see if we can move this around a bit closer that way. I think I just need to maybe go even wider with the camera. I'm tweaking the camera already. That gives us more space there, and then you can come over here, and maybe you're further forward. Still not got enough space. Let's do... We'll just, yeah, the back's, I've thrown the back out moving the camera, but we'll just do the desk for now and get all those in, and then work on the everything else. Must spit that up. Has anyone got any Maya questions? Whilst I'm working. Oh, don't want to do that. Oh, I never knew that was there before. Create UV, sawtooth, pinched at pole or none. Interesting, that's how it unfolds it. Notice how I'm just ignoring the UVs for now. I'm not even thinking about them. Because in my personal projects, I like to be very lazy with the look dev, and if I don't have to UV something, then I won't. I think my brewery project that I just finished, whatever needed to go to Substance to have like something painted on it, then I took that, but otherwise I was like, no, I'm not taking everything into it if I don't need to. Right, so I want to take, I need it to match up, so is it 8? It's like a little ball on the end. It's about right. Whoop. Oh my god. Oh, I deleted the top, which is helpful for lining it up. Well done, Holly. There we go. And skeleton. Delete the faces. Okay, where's my... Oh, I lost my... There we go. Ooh. Okay, where's my... It's because I keep having to move them. Right, there we go. I should turn wireframe mode on, shouldn't I? We love a wireframe. They probably need just something. I have a question for game assets. Should I prioritize making sure that topology is good at the start, or should I just start rough with many tries and quads and read topology later? Well, I don't work in games, so I can't speak from a games perspective, but the way that I like to work is if I am finding it relatively easy to keep the topology good as I'm working, then sorry, the other question popping up distracted me. I'll answer that in a second. So yeah, if I can keep the topology good whilst I'm working, then I would just do that. But if you've got something that you're really struggling to get the form of and get translated from the concept art, then be a bit messy and go back and read topology. I think it's fine to do both, depending on the object. For me, there's no point if I'm doing something that I can keep the topology good at the start to like just not think about it whilst I'm doing it, because I feel like then I'm making more steps for myself. That's just how I work. But so the next question was, good afternoon, why don't you make 3D models and then manually refine them to perfection? I don't understand your language, so I can only translate the text. I'm not sure what, not 100% sure what you mean by that. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I am working on this piece of concept art. Sorry, I forgot that it had gone off to give myself more space on Maya. It's from Dexter's Laboratory, if you've ever seen that show. And we started the stream about an hour and 20 minutes ago with a blank Maya scene, and did a bit of block out, got a rough camera in there. Now I'm just going through and starting to model some of the objects. I'm going to focus on getting the desk modelled, and as I'm going I'm kind of tweaking the layout of the objects, and then move on to the kind of background layers probably in the next stream. And yeah, just trying to take the 2D concept art and turn it into 3D, which is my favourite thing to do. This is my first stream for Firestorm, so yeah, I'm just starting, and I'm just getting back into doing streaming. And so any questions about my background or Maya, feel free to ask them. If you see me using a tool and you want to know more about it, let me know. Yeah, I'll try and like think how I can showcase things that I use quite often. So earlier we looked at the sweep mesh tool and setting presets for that, so I could share that little tip. And for the curly wires, we'll probably use like a helix or something and curve warp it. That's a good one when we get there. So yeah, just if you have any questions whilst I'm working, let me know. And Triglev Online said 3D models in artificial intelligence. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, I don't use AI. I like doing the process myself, and I'd like to keep my job, so I'll go through the pain of doing 3D for as long as I'm allowed to, as long as people do it. My friend and I are making our own game. We don't have funding, but we need a 3D designer. I don't understand what you're saying. I can only translate your text. Well, that's great that you're making your own game. That's a big task. What is the game about? And I would just, if you're looking for someone to work on it, then obviously if you've got, or you say you don't have any funding, you could try and get funding. People love a Kickstarter these days. Otherwise, it's about finding and building your community through like Instagram and places, and see if you can, find anyone who wants to help work on it maybe. Okay, what are we doing next? That stand's a bit boring. I know it's just a stand, but it's a bit boring. How can we make it more exciting and wonky? Too far, too far. Can't work out what that is behind this like Bunsen burner thing. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in, see if we can figure it out. No, I'm not sure what that is. Just like a circular kind of box thing. Okay. Probably should re-watch the show and see if I can pick up on anything before next week and be like, oh, it's that thing, or like that is a hamster cage, not a fish tank. Oh, I've got to do a screwdriver. Gotta do. That's a bit bigger now, isn't it? Okay, so we've got to have these things that hold the... Oh, yeah. Being reminded to save. I'm even going to version up. Okay, what am I going to do next? Let's finish this stand. So, we're going to just go for a cube. I don't often work with the live symmetry in Maya, but we might try it. Symmetry. I normally just model like one half and then mirror it, but we'll see. Let's see if it will play nicely, because that will help get the shape. Cool. I feel like it's actually going to be like thinner like that to grasp it, isn't it? And then bring it in, and then, oh, we need to turn the symmetry off to make it wonky in a minute, but for now, let's go with that. And then we press 3 and we go, oh no, it's off. And I go and fix it. Oh, I've still got multiple, there we go, edges. Don't want you there. Slide edge to a wrong way. Ooh. There we go. And stop it, I'm just doing some weird jumping around. Oh, it's probably because the symmetry's on and it's just struggling. And the thing I like about doing stylized stuff is you can get a lot out of very simple shapes, I find. Like, I don't have to think too hard sometimes about what I'm modelling. We can kind of get the shape. I think that's going to work. And I'll just duplicate. Actually, I need to just undo. I just want to put a few more. Does anyone use edge ring and split? I use it all the time. And if you don't use it and you want to know what it is, I will do a little demo. There we go. Okay, there we go. Right, so duplicate that. Let's take it over to where we're working. Let's put the, yeah, we can leave the pivot there for now. Scale it right down. And it's kind of higher up than that. I think I need like all 4 of my views. Just go back to, there we go. I assume it's clamped onto the stand somehow. We'll figure that out in a bit. And like so. Move that out the way. So we've got it very much like, let's change this to my camera. Very wonky in the concept. Don't think we're going to match that exactly. And this is where we can, I'll just make it a bit more wonky as well. See what we're doing here. Right. It needs to go yeah, something like that. That's not bad. Leave it like that for now and do the other one. Duplicate, move it down, rotate in the world axis. And bring it out. Ooh. This one is like going back, that's what gives it the shortness, I think. And rotate it this way this time. I think I'm going to move this chest tube as I do this. Because that's like, they're kind of like straight with each other there and I don't like that. So let's go, yeah, bring it forward like that. Yeah, let's do that. They're like not equal. Come over here. Maybe not quite so wonky. Smooth, smooth. Okay, right, let's see. We'll do that. Just move my camera, go back, lock it. There we go. I always forget to lock my camera. What time are we on? 11:30. Let's try and model something else. What have we got? This thing here with the twirly tube going into there. I'm going to model that one, and then we can model this after. Don't know why, just feel like it. Right, cylinder is going to be the best, I think. Oh, I don't know if that popped up. I've got like a reminder to stand up with my standing desk, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do it on the stream. Right, I need to go to normal perspective. There we go. Save. Right, just gonna. What have I done? I've got the tank, the stand, which needs those add in. I just do a little tidy up. That's the original. Hide that. Sphere. It's just old. Sphere, is that going to be old as well? Yep. We'll just check that in that group thing. That's just epoxy. That's part of the stand. Oh, stand as well. What's that? A cube. Okay, right. Just like to tidy up as I go. So we've got this shape now, and that kind of stays straight on one side, and just that side comes out. So how's that going to translate in a circle? Okay. I need to turn symmetry off now. There we go. Symmetry wasn't actually that bad. I don't normally use it, but right, let's go into side view, and we are going to take this. I think we're going to just scale it in, and now we're going to shift it back over to straighten off that edge. That's all right. And then grab the faces, extrude up, and scale out, move back over to straighten that off, and then gonna be more like that, I think. I might end up changing that. I have to go and look at one of them beakers, but this is just stylized, so it's fine for now. Bevel. Oh, wrong way. It's got quite a big curve on it, so I'm going to add another segment. And don't need the top faces. So we want to Come on, get the inside. There we go. Could have just put, I should have just put an edge loop where I wanted this to go and done it that way, but here we are. There we go. That's going to be the liquid. So let's just and I think it's got bubbles in it, but I'm not going to model them at the moment. I'm going to see what I can do on the look dev and then decide if I want to model it. What are these called? Beakers? Beakers. I did A-level chemistry. I should know. Don't ask me why I did it. I'll tell you why I did it actually. I did GCSE in England, GCSE art, and I was predicted like the top grades, and then for whatever reason when I got my results I got a B, which was like 2 grades below, and I was like, I'm never doing art again. Because it was like, just, yeah, I'm never doing art again. And I so when I chose my, like, what I was doing the next year, I was like, no, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing art. And so I did maths, chemistry, geography and music, and refused to do art. Oh, that's not very clever, is it? I've not got enough to make. Or I just do this. And yeah. And then I regretted that I didn't do art, and I ended up doing art at night school. Not that getting your A-level even really matters, but I don't need to do that. 4, 4, 4. Oh no, I've messed this up, haven't I?
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
There we go. I knew I could do it with no tries. But it's wonky. Why is it wonky? What have I done? We'll just straighten that off and hope for the best. There we go. And we need to bevel. Okay, right. Put this. It needs a little stand now, doesn't it? No, don't need a cylinder, I need a pipe. And this is super wonky, this stand, which is what we like. Move that out of the way. I think it's the thickness that I want, or is it the radius? Let's just, no, radius, there we go. 0.5, 6, yeah, that'll do. And then we can, oh, what am I doing wrong there? Okay, I need to do both. 0.1, there we go. Bring it in, move it around. Okay. And and we need to make them little feet, and I'm just gonna go and get, oh, what have I done at the bottom there? So I don't even know how I do half the things, and that's why it's so hard for beginners, because it's like, I'm sure I didn't actually break that. Like I didn't, when did I break that? Go over there, please. Like, when did I actually break the bottom of that thing? Who knows? Let's just fix that, and then I think I'm gonna just take. Where's the? Did I delete? I think I deleted the history thing. Okay, never mind. We'll just pretend we didn't do that. Right. It's not normally this chaotic when I model, I'm sure. Let's just redo that. What's that? Is that a cylinder? Let's just create a new one, because we don't need 20 segments on a tiny little cylinder like that. What else have I broken then by deleting stuff? Can anyone else spot what I've broken? And okay, so it's about the right height, and now I need to go get another sphere. Bring it on to here. I don't know, I don't have a clue how many people are watching, or if I've missed any notifications. I apologise, but if you are watching and you haven't been watching from the start, then I am just doing some cozy modelling in Maya. Nothing too complicated, just trying to take this piece of concept art and turn it into 3D. And this is my first stream for Firestorm. So I'm just getting used to streaming again, because I've not done it for quite a few years now, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have in the chat, so feel free to ask those, and yeah, that's what we're doing today. Right. Combine. Did I delete the top? Deleted the top of the sphere as well. It's not going good. It's not going good. There we go. What did I stream before? So I was just streaming on my YouTube channel. And I just, yeah, similar thing, like taking a piece of 2D concept art and turning it into a 3D model. And it was the Radcliffe residence from 101 Dalmatians. So, like, super iconic concept art, and it was really fun. And yeah, I really struggled to pick a concept art for this. Like, I genuinely, like, had it only just decided to just open this one, or it was between this and another one, and I wasn't particularly, like, super excited about any of them. I just probably shouldn't say that on the stream. But yeah. So this is just gonna be the first project. And then, like, if we finish this one, then we'll move on to another one. And I'll probably do the modeling on the stream and then the look dev like afterwards. And oh, there we go. Right, so I'm gonna, now that I've fixed that because I deleted it before, go on in the right group. I'm gonna duplicate it, Shift P to take it out the group, and we're gonna reuse this for the stand that we were making before we realized I'd broken something. Because if we can reuse stuff, we're gonna reuse it. So we need to go get this and isolate, select them. And also we need to add the pipe. Oh, for God's sake. Right, put you all in a group. And there we go. Yes, it is from Dexter's Lab. I'm glad you recognised it. I was looking at like old school like animated shows and saw this one, and I was like, that's kind of like it. I was trying to find something different that I hadn't done before as well. Like I normally go for more like buildings or like exteriors, but I was like, you know, like maybe we'll put this in the portfolio when we're done, who knows. So we can do something slightly different with it than what I normally do. So this has got 3 feet. There we go. Iconic, yes, it is. I did think about doing Powerpuff Girls, and I was like, oh, their bedroom concept's awesome, but then I've just finished doing a bedroom concept, so the bluey bedroom, so I was like, you shouldn't do another bedroom really. Do something else first. I've got so many ideas for projects, like my own projects, but I was like, for the first time streaming, I didn't want to be making my own thing that I'm like trying to make decisions on. I was like, just have a piece of concept art. You can model whilst you chat quite easily, hopefully. Not, you know, throw too many spanners in the works. Maya might behave a bit nicely. And yeah, that was the plan for this. So I actually think it's gonna stick out, isn't it? Like, ta-da! And then if we put, because I've modelled it wonky. Is that about it? That it? Can't remember. There we go. And then we need to adjust because it's wonky. Gonna make that a bit bigger. How have I managed to just Right, so now we need to get this to set on, not like that. I find it really nerve-wracking to live stream. It's like people are just watching and judging my modelling, like, oh my god, I wouldn't do it like that. Oh my god, I wouldn't do it like that. Okay. I think that needs to go round like one more back that way. But in the concept, it's actually over there, so it's not following any rules. So let's just tweak that. Oh my god, what have I done? There we go. Get rid of that one. Okay, so I did a rookie thing and I stopped looking at the concept art, and we're trying to match it. Like, obviously we do have a bit of leeway, but I want to try and make it kind of pretty accurate from my camera as I can, and then kind of need to move it into position now probably for being able to match the concept art. Oh, I've already got that open there. It's really hard to work on a tiny little screen. I've had to like squeeze my Maya into like a less than a half of my monitor. Right. Pico was about here, and I'm gonna go further that way now actually, and I'll just move everything else as well. And yeah, that's alright. We need to make this squatter now. I'm seeing it in the concept art, and lower to the ground. So good job we didn't finish off the feet there. So let's see what we've got. And this is chunkier and goes up. I don't know if you can see it very easily what I'm doing, like, because of how small it is, but we can always tweak it for next week. So let's go here, and actually I'm gonna sit on the desk, and then yeah, they're probably about the right height now. And this is going to be too far. Going a little bit like that. There we go. This beaker reminds me of the little sugar pot from Sword in the Stone, if anyone remembers that. It's just, I've just looked at it and gone, oh yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. What am I doing? I am going to turn this one into my top. I'm not allowed to do any more Disney concept art to 3D because I need to branch out. I can't do a Sword in the Stone one. Nobody let me. Even though I love that film. We're at 12. I did not realise what the time was. So that is the end of the stream. I don't know how strict we are with finishing exactly on time. But I shouldn't go over on my first stream. And yes, thank you for anyone that came and watched my first stream. And I feel like it went okay. We didn't have too many technical issues. I need to work out how to get some music on in the background for next time so that I don't have to jabber as much whilst I'm working. And yeah, don't forget to if you want to watch more artists doing their amazing work, ZBrush, Houdini, concept art, then make sure to give Firestream a follow on Twitch or YouTube and also on Instagram, and you can join the Discord. I know tomorrow there is a live portfolio review happening tomorrow. I can't remember what time it is. Maybe Patricia can tell me in the chat. And so if you want your portfolio or project or anything like that to be reviewed, I don't know if there's time for this time to join and upload it, but you can join the Discord and add your work. And if it doesn't get featured this time, then I'm pretty sure it will get featured the next time it happens. So yeah, be sure to follow for more live streams and just join in the Discord for the community. And if you want to follow me as well on social media, I am Hollywatt VFX on Instagram, and I am Holly's Maya Tutorials on YouTube. Oh, Paige said Firestorm reviews at 1 p.m. UTC. I'm not going to try and convert that to my time because I'm rubbish with that, but yeah, 1 p.m. UTC for the reviews. So that's tomorrow on Twitch and YouTube. So I will just quickly save. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next week, hopefully.